Well, that was a panic. That was a panic. The moment you're about to go live and your internet cuts off. So I'm not actually sure what internet I'm connected to, but let's just check that I am live. 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? God bless. Let's do a check. There are 43 people online. Make sure you get the thumbs up. Why is this device allow? Device allow. Benny Hofer. Go Hill. Just making sure. Let's check the sound. You are love. Perfect. Right. So today's Celtic FC news. Thumbs up. There's a good amount of people online already. Sitting at 46 people. Let's get some people names up first. Paul Baird, Proud Boys, Beautiful Sunday, James, Sean, Tam, Paul Docherty, William, Ewan Boy. Just to say the least, they're now sitting at about 100. Borders Boy, Proud Boys. God, there's quite a lot of comments coming through already, so I need to try and keep up with the comments. And that allow. Technical issues tonight. Jesus, just when I don't need them. Right, the big news is tonight that Celtic are about to make a double announcement, 2 incoming transfers. We obviously know who they are because they've been spoken about all week. Before we talk about them, I want to talk about Aidan McGeady. Do you remember Aidan McGeady? He's obviously came out and said that he had a chance to return to Celtic after when Ronnie Dyler was manager. He obviously left for 9.5 million during the Gordon Strachan era, and he obviously had 4 years in Russia. And it's a heat wave, they say. Right, come on, didn't start the heat wave crap. It's cloudy. It's actually it's cloudy at one side. No, it's cloudy. It's not a heat wave. Right. Strap on, boys. We're taking off. We are taking off, says Peter. Hail Troops says Anthony. Aidan McGeady. Yes, let's get back onto the subject. Aidan McGeady, what a player he was. It's hard to believe that it was that long ago that Aidan McGeady played for Celtic, and he's now 37-year-old. It's 2010 when he made the switch from Spartak Moscow for £9.5 million. And you've got to remember at that time, Spartak Moscow were a big club. And then he switched to Everton in 2014. He had the chance to come back to Celtic under Ronnie Dyler, which he kind of thought, it says in his interviews, he spoke about it, and he says that he thought he still had a chance to get back into the Everton team, so he turned down Celtic, as you do. McGeady had 93 caps for Ireland. 93 caps. Excuse me, that's unbelievable. Keep Evans out of Celtic. It's Thunder in Glasgow. I'm looking forward to coming home anyway next week. And there's going to be a little change of well, not a change of circumstance, a change of background. There'll be a change of scenery next week, and the videos will still come out the same, but there'll just be a little change of the background as I'm going to be not here. Let's say. Anyway, the big Celtic. Let's get some comments in first. Get as many people. John Quinn, come on, you boys in greens. Tam Mack, who was one of the ones in first. Boy gained us million, did Aidan. He did that. And the fact that he's 37, and the reason I was wanting to get on Aidan, he's 37-year-old, and he's looking for a new club. And when you think about the players, so you look at Aaron Moy, who's just retired at 32, Brunei retired before that age, and you think, fair play to him. You look at our keeper, Joe Hart, he's about the same age, but anybody that still keeps on playing at that age does not do it for the money. They do it for the love of the game, the love of being able to still play football. And we often talk about it as a short career for football players. Because let's face it, I mean, he's in the last year or so of him actually playing professional football. And it's like where there's lots of players that go through the modern game. And we like to big up all our stars. We like to bring up all the stars that are on fantastic amount of money. I mean, there's nothing compared to the Jota deal. I mean, Jota could basically do this 2 years in Saudi Arabia and then settle down. You know, he could leave, he could walk away from football if he wanted. You think about the players that go through the system and don't kind of make it to the higher heights. And there's been lots of players done that at Celtic. The Celtic youth system has let lots of players go over the years, and they go on and they have a sort of not bad career. There was a mate of my brother's. My brother was just as good a football player as him when they were in their young days. Young Johnny went to Hearts. He was Celtic diehards. Craig Levine then took him to bloody Cowdenbeath. And that was the death of his career, his football career. He fell out in love with football. But then again, so would anybody if they went to play football at Cowdenbeath. So it's a kind of just a nod and a hats off to the one and only Aidan McGeady for the fact that he is still trying to get a team at 37. And it's a little nod to him saying, fair play to you for getting to 37, for getting all those games for Ireland. It's a fantastic, I mean, being just the 7 away for the 100 must have been, God, it's a hard one to take. But the fact he got 93 caps, and he played under Martin O'Neill in Ireland, and I think Martin O'Neill really liked him and kept him in the national team. So anyway, let's move on. I prefer Maloney as well. You've got to remember that Maloney, McGeady and all that came through the team, through the youth. Right, here's a teaser for you. There was a game against Hearts back in the day, and there was a penalty, and all the young lads were fighting. Young lads. They were young lads then, but we're talking about Maloney and McGeady, and they were fighting over the ball. Who can remember that? That was a long time ago. A long time ago. Anyway, Maloney was better. Look at Modric, 38. Modric's a special kind of player, though. And the fact that I think they've just given him another year's contract. I'm not sure. I've not checked the Spanish football press for a while. It's only me. We had disappointment. Their signings, says Stuart Ramsey. Well, Stuart, you're going to get another 2 signings this week. The 2 guys from Asia will be announced this week. Gang Wang, their officials have said that Yang has left the building and they said goodbye to him. The other one, Kiwon, he had his farewell for his club. They congratulated the midfield player over his switch, and he's set to join Celtic next week. So both Korean clubs have said goodbye to their player. Obviously, the midfield player is 22-year-old. Their manager says it's unfortunate for us to lose the player, but the deal is, believe it's nothing money again. We're paying £1 million for a player. But he was the young player of the year in that league. So for getting somebody that was young player of the year, is it a good thing? You never know. Simon Lynch, there's another one from the past. Jesus, yep. Sai. Yep, he was another one. Lynch, Aidan Story. Yeah, smashed the Hearts 4-1 day. That's it. There you go, Pat. Well done to Pat. He is right. It was well, and they were fighting over the penalty. We were 3-1 up, and we got the penalty towards the end of the game, and the young lads were all fighting over the game. God, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? You've got to think there's a lot of players. I mean, there's players coming into the team just now, and they were born in 2001 and 2002. Now, for the younger generation, there's not a lot of younger generation watch this channel, but when I look at the stats, but when you think about it, geez, you're getting older. Barca players are our price range. Boca players. Is there something going on in the comments that I've missed? Enjoy the evening. Need more with injured. The injury worries. Well, the only real injury worry that we've got is the one to Alistair Johnson. Alistair Johnson obviously picked up some kind of knock before the end of the season. It was kind of aggravated when he was away his national team, but he's had it operated on. So the fact that he's had it operated on, he's out for the 8 weeks. When did that 8-week period start? It obviously started before the training camp. Celtic would never have waited till the training camp before he got operated. So this has probably happened before. He will miss, obviously, the first 2 or 3 games of the season. Yang the Hunskilpin Young. Wait a minute to get a drink of juice. Just before, right, let's get this one up. Johnson out for 3 months. I think we can safely say that Johnson's career at Celtic is over. And I didn't actually take Johnson into the equation for the fact that Johnson is a player that he's been out on loan. He's been missing in action for Celtic for so long now. And that makes me feel old. I was 18 when that game. I'm now 40. Well, I've got 10 years on you, John, so I can remember a lot more games than that. Yeah, Mikey Johnson, it's just unfortunate with Mikey. You've got to feel really for him. It's not going to happen. Let's get some more of the comments. Ben Summers. It's good to see Ben Summers get a goal yesterday. Hail, do you think you'll be back? Yes, I do. I think Ben Summers is going to be a really important part of the squad. The manager likes to bring on the youthful players and get them into the team and integrate into the team. I think he might not get a game every week, but he'll definitely be in the squad. I think him and Vata will definitely be in the squad. Mikey's here for his testimonial. Come on. You never missed a game in Italy. Who never missed a game in Italy? I'm missing one. There's obviously lots of stuff going on in the comments. I can't keep up with them all because they're flying through. Let's get some from Pat. See what you're saying. Johnson should be out the door altogether. Johnson's been a really controversial figure at his time at Celtic. He's had all the talent, and the fact that some fans, let's face the facts, he's never progressed as a player. He's never got to the heights. He did have quite a good season. Yeah, me too, you and boy. Me too. Exact same. No, Mikey Johnson, it's just unfortunate. And the fact that he's now got this 3-month injury, back injury, coming back from a back injury, we don't know exactly what it is. Celtic are obviously not going to tell us. Mikey Johnson, when did Mikey Johnson play in Italy? It was Portugal he played in. Anyway, let's move on. Charles Lant, I'm trying to come, like, Tam. That's the reply. Jesus, you're all just having a conversation amongst yourself, aren't you? Right, see, next week I'm going to actually get one of your lucky buggers on live with me so that it spreads the love. I might get 2 or 3 on, actually. So look out for my Twitter. If you're on Twitter, look out for Twitter, and I'll put that out there. No, I'll put it out in the community tab, and then I'll put out the connections. 51 must have been an easy. Ralston. Should Ralston be given his chance? Ralston is going to be a squad player this year. I don't think he's. I think if we, I don't know. He is a good player to have in the squad, but he was unlucky with injuries last season. Also, when we sell or tear up a Scottish player's contract, then we can promote Summers. I think that's our Euro quota, says Pat. I don't think that we're going to be tearing up players' contracts. And there's not really anybody that's in the team just now that whose contract we're going to tear up, because there's one Scottish player and he's becoming a bit of a mythical figure in the eyes of Celtic fans. And James McCarthy. What happened to James McCarthy? James McCarthy was such a good player at one point. Did he come to Celtic too late in his career? Was it the fact that he should have... Let's not get into that conversation, because then it goes down the road of people that are for and people that are against Peter Lawwell. Right, let's get to some more comments. Ralston, let's see this one. Charles Lamont, we should buy a new goalkeeper for decent competition. Right, there's a thing. There's been a few media outlets saying that Celtic will not be going for this keeper. I don't think even Celtic have even made contact with the keeper. I don't think Celtic were even in the race. I think they looked at him, and that was about it. We've got 3 keepers. You don't have 3. If I've said it before. If Bain had left, I think then we would have had to get another keeper. And the fact that Bain's left, you could say that young Connor Hazard's left, but he was never going to get a game anyway. Let me just see some of the comments. Sorry, I was just finding it amusing that the Daily Rag are reporting the Mankey mob have a war chest. That is not alcohol. Anyway, they have a war chest. How have they got a war chest? What bank they robbed? Oh, wait a minute. Taxman's not being paid again. Any contract's worth anything. Our contract's worth anything these days. I think they are to a certain extent. When you're talking about ripping contracts up, you've got to pay off a certain percentage of that contract. I mean, a player's not going to just leave the club for nothing. If he's got a contract for 5 years, he's going to have to be bought out his contract. Contracts come into play when you take on somebody like Jota, when we buy him for 6.5 million, and then we sell him the very next summer for 25 plus million. And it'll be interesting to see that contract and how that plays out over the next couple of years. Another one that you could say that Celtic are about to get good return off is Jeremy Frimpong. Jeremy Frimpong looks as if he's going to make a massive... hope you and your wife had a good meal, Barry. Had a good meal last night. He's talking about. Like Jeremy Frimpong, he's about to make a massive move, and Celtic are about to benefit from that. Got to remember that we got Frimpong for about 300 grand or something, Blenny says, and the fact that we got him and he was kind of under the radar at Man City, and then we're going to sell him for 10 million, and then put a massive clause in it saying that if we if they sell him on, we benefit again. And it looks like we're going to do that. Peter, yes, we did have. Oh, that was Friday night, wasn't it? Yeah, Friday night. Yes, I wrote it last night as well. We did. No, we did. We had a good night and a good night last night. Yeah, and just to let you know, it is a bit cloudy here today, but there are obviously some people walking up for the beach still in their swimsuits at 7:00. The beaches here will be mobbed till 9:00. Ralston are okay for the SPFL, but miles off Champions League standards. Yes, there's too many people at the club. This is what all the talk was about last season, and I think this is where really our fans are getting their knickers in their twist, because we were kind of promised, or not promised, but we were kind of talked up the fact that we were going to be bringing in players that were going to help us a little bit more in the Champions League, and we are a bit. We've made a few signings so far. There's another 2 signings incoming this week. Are those the type of players? I mean, this young guy that's coming in was young player of the season. So I think was Jota not first? Was he not young player of the season when he was with us his first year? I can't remember. Anyway, McCarthy. Talking about McCarthy. McCarthy still does come under the U quota or tear his up. I would. You never want to see a player like, just get him out the door. I don't understand the whole McCarthy contract thing, the lengthy contract that we give him. I hope Johnson's sake he recovers. He will recover. He obviously will recover. It's obviously something, a niggle, and they've operated on him, and that's the 3-month time out is the whole recovering and then getting back into fitness. And they're saying he'll be ready for first team action in 3 months' time if it all goes to plan. That's what when they say these things. It's like, it's the same when you do. I've done my ligaments on my ankle so many times, and you get that big black stripe right down the side of your foot. And then it swells up like a golf ball. You've got the recovery time about a week, 2 weeks, and then you've got to start getting back up to speed. Anyway, let's move on. Bez, we do that. We're talking about yourself. Benji is good enough. Benji Siegrist, that is one. But as I have been saying, there was a story that was in one of the media. His missus, the bird that he's seeing, she's some kind of, I don't know, superstar or whatever down in Australia. I'm not too sure, but she does her own thing, and they're having a long distance relationship. And she's basically came out and said that she wants him over there in Australia. And big fella, say hello, Bella. Hello, Bella. Hail, hail forever Celtic from the Borough, from Brian. Let's get some. Enough keepers for cover, not a problem. That's what I've said. We do have, Bain isn't an ideal choice as a keeper. For me, I think when it was coming up to the end of his contract, I seriously thought he was going to leave the club. For his own personal, he's at the age where it's easy money for him. He's not playing, but does that show lack of ambition for him as a goalkeeper? He could walk into any other team in Scottish football, and with say that even the Sevco team, he could walk straight into that. He could walk down south, and he could probably get the same money that he's on at Celtic, and he could play every week. And the big news, we spoke about it the other day. Has Joe Hart saved a penalty? He did save a penalty, but it was then called back and retaken by the referee. But this weekend, Joe saves a penalty. The big man saves his first penalty for Celtic. That's it. We're going to win the treble. Oh, I've seen a bit of news about that, about that Egypt Kenny Miller playing down our treble from last year. Oh, they're at it already. Can't wait till the football season starts and I start reading Kenny Miller crap again. It's always good for the channel when he spouts his gums, because you get a laugh at him. You do get a laugh at him. I wish he was on social media more so we could give him a good old slagging off. Right? I'm sorry. There's loads of boys, Grampian boys. Do you think you'll be able to make a marquee signing? Will we make a marquee signing? I don't know. The Celtic Supporters Podcast. I've still got to get back to you guys. I'm not sure if it's that podcast. Yeah. Are you the one that messaged me through the Facebook page? I'm never on that social media. I'm never on that. So I'll get back to you after this, I promise. If that was you, how's the Tim Hutt, McKenna? Don't know where Johnson was playing, but you need to put him a dunce cap. Mikey Johnson was in Portugal, but Benji off to Oz. That's what I've been hearing. Benji's off to Oz, but it's a case of how long has he got to go in his contract? I'm not really sure of that. Can't believe. Proud boys are getting there, bro. Can't believe no one identified Dembele as a possible return. And I think the fact that Dembele kind of lost his goal scoring boots over the last couple of seasons. Could you say that? I don't know. He done fantastic for us, but sometimes it's about the money that will be on as well. So new comments. Let's get Brendan is looking for a strong midfield player. Colin, you're about to get your strong midfield player. It has been said today that a 22-year-old midfield player is on the verge of moving to Celtic Park for £1 million. Yes, Kiwon Hiku, I'm not even going to try. The Korean club Busan have said that he has now left the building. They put a big congratulations, farewell on their TV screens this weekend, and he will make his move to Celtic. So we're going to get a midfield player. I'm not sure if it's the big name or a big imposing one, but he is player of the last time he used his mug for a thumbnail. He got 30. Kenny Miller. This is true. There's two people that get crazy views when I put up a video, and it's usually Kenny Miller because he said something complete. He is the gift that keeps giving, and the other one, Fat Chris Boyd, Cocaine Boyd. You know, and there is you put they two on a thumbnail, and it's like the Sevconians must just go on at my fucking saying about our lads. Anyway, yeah, we need someone to challenge Big Joe, Proud Boy, and Declan Rice. The danger. What about Declan Rice going for 105 million to Arsenal from West Ham? That was a bit nuts. But the way these Korean players are top notch, and the big and strong that are that, and that's what we've been shouting out. But we've been saying that we need bigger, taller players. It's fine having the pace that we've got in the sort of, but there was games last season where off the ball Kyogo was getting pushed about by defenders. You know, defenders are stepping into him with a shoulder when he's turning to make a run. You know, just basically laying him out flat. So it is. We do need a couple of big, strong players in there, and hopefully these two players that are coming in will be that, and it will be a double announcement. And Celtic will probably, excuse me, I've got gas tonight. I had gas going on 4K1 as well. I think Celtic will probably meet up with these players when they're in Japan next week, integrate them into the squad, and then fly them back with Celtic. And then they'll probably, I don't know if Celtic will make the announcement when they're in Japan. It would be a good way to increase their PR in Japan if they were to do the announcement of these players from Asia. Maybe that's what Celtic are waiting on. Maybe they're going to parade all these players at the one time to target the Asian market. Because let's face it, the Asian market for football and watching football is absolutely immense. It puts, I mean, the TV deals and everything that you could get over there, and sponsorship and things like that. It's a different level. It's a completely different level. So I fully endorse Celtic doing everything that they can over that part of the world. It is an untapped part of the world as far as we're concerned for football matters. But, you know, it is what it is. And I think it would be fantastic, absolutely fantastic, if Celtic make that big announcement with all these players and parade them when they're in Japan next week. It'll be quite something else. Bernabei could be a big player for us. He looked sharp yesterday. I've seen that. I think he'll come into his own this season. You know, he was another one that kind of came in, and you always got to give players, especially when they come from that part of the world, and they're not going to hit the ground running. And we've spoken about it before. One of the best ever players that played in Celtic, for Celtic over the last 20 years, his very first game, he basically gave the ball away, and there was a goal. And he gave the ball away to a Hibs player, and everybody was like, really? Who is this guy? And then he goes on to be an absolute Celtic legend and the king of kings. Right. The comments are flying through. How many likes are there? Get the likes up. Only 82 likes. Give the guy a thumbs up, says Ewan. Boy, Martin, yeah, get the thumbs up. I'll check on my phone. It's 422 people on the live, and I'll just quickly check. Let's do that. No. It's cool. We'll sort it out after. Anyway, get the likes up. Kenny Miller and company are where they belong, in the rubbish bin. We need another big GG type player. I think we do. I think the Asians, Assassins, and Awata will be big players. I think these Asian boys, we need to get them in the door first and see what they're like. We've still got O. O was coming on a game. You've got to remember the amount of goals that O actually scored last season. You've got to remember he only came in at Christmas, and I think he scored 7 goals. And that's all right coming off the bench. Big Georgios, he played the sort of second half of the season when Kyogo wasn't fit that year, and he came in to turn well with us. But then Kyogo come back in, and it all depends on the system that we play. And playing with one striker up front is going to make it hard for anybody else to come in. But it depends on the rotation of the squad. If we're going to have a striker sitting on the bench and he's on the bench and understanding that he's going to come on in the 60th minute, I don't know. The young lad from midfield is 6'3". Young Toby should be given number 2. Yes, I think young Toby. It was interesting. We were talking about that the other week when we were watching the snippets that Celtic released from Portugal, and it was good to see. And there was another one. Connor Hazard said also. He says the training and the knowledge that he got from Joe Hart was second to none. Do you know what I mean? We've had Stevie Woods at the club for a while, and hats off to Stevie Woods because he's coached some of the best keepers over the last as many years as he's been at the club. He'll go down in history, but the fact that we've got someone like Hart in at the club, and you've got the younger keeper saying that the coaching that Hart has given, the advice has been completely invaluable. Connor Hazard saying that, and I think Toby should be giving him a shout. If it is the fact that Ben Siegrist is going to go, I think Toby should be the one that gets to jump up and probably give him a shout before Bain. I would like to see him up there, but you never know. As long as we aren't signing 35-year-old Huns, I am happy. Mine says 8 likes. Right, wait a minute. You probably need to refresh it. Let me go on. Let's see. Here, the dog's now going to start running about. There we go, live. And it's going to play it. 114 thumbs up, it says. So let's get to the 200 live chat. Let's get to the 200 thumbs up within the next 5 minutes or so. Get those thumbs up. Right, we're at 114 as it's sitting. And if you're watching it on replay, you'll be able to comment on the bit underneath. It'll be a replay that you're commenting on. So I will try and come back because there's a lot of people commented on the live from Friday night. And to be honest, there's that many comments. I love the way the channel's going. But there's that many comments that sometimes I need to sit for about an hour and go through them all. Anyway, let's get back to the comments. How many likes is out? I follow someone from Fine Column. Can't remember his name. It's time to say bye-bye to Ben. The fact that we're just giving Ben a 3-year contract, we're not going to say goodbye to him. I think that's a disappointing bit from our point of view. Ben should never have been given a new contract. No, he shouldn't. It's one of those crazy things, but I think it's just to come down to the amount of Scottish players that we need. Oh, as a Roger-style player, expect big things from him this year. Is that? Hi, Jenny. Fucking crazy dog. I'm expecting good things for this year. I think, especially against them. I think Kyogo, but when it comes down to playing the new Kofi across the city, I think we hit them with pace like we did before. They're going to play us. When it comes to the season, teams are going to try and attack us the way that they tried last season. It's good that Brendan talked about the fact that we were pushing high up the pitch. And we were playing with a bit of pace. It was good to see. It was good to see that, he said. But I think teams know how we play. Teams were sitting back too far back with us last season, and we weren't breaking them down as quick. They were trying to obviously play 5 at the back and kill us off. But then other times you had the likes of Rangers and I think it was Kilmarnock and St Johnstone totally had a go at us. And I think you'll find that will happen earlier on in the season. Also, you'll get teams coming straight out and just going, look. If we didn't try, anyway, who cares about the other teams in Scottish football? That's for another channel and another day. Right, let's talk about David Gear and a free transfer, Baz. I keep talking about it on Twitter, and nobody seems to be interested. I think it's because the way that we'd kind of hope that, the way that we are going, the 2 transfers that are coming in this week are in their early 20s, and the players that can have room for improvement. Celtic, the Celtic model, business model, isn't going to change. It didn't change when we bought Jota for 6.5 million. It is all about perceptions and value. You can buy somebody as a unit. We can buy somebody at 1 million, turn them into a 10 million pound player. You can bring somebody in like Jota, you can bring him in for 6.5 million, and then you sell him on for 25 million. It's the way that we're going. I think we were all hoping and waiting for these 7, 8, 9 million pound signings. The fact that we've not made them yet, are we in a stronger position? As it stands, we haven't seen these players play in the first team, so you have to say, as it stands, we're not in as good a position as we were last season, because we've lost 2 players that were basically starters. Aaron Moy played absolutely fantastic after the World Cup, as did Alistair Johnson, and they're both out of the team. And then you look at Jota is gone, so we need to really bring someone in to step up to the mark and not take over for where he was, because you're not going to get the same type of player. As Abada staying, I think it's all went quiet with the Abada camp. I think the fact that I think it's more than apparent that there was something going on in the background, and I think the fact that Abada thought he maybe should have been starting more. A lot of us thought he should have been starting more, but the manager last season had his special players, as all managers do. It is the start of the season. It is a new manager. And a lot of people are saying, but Brendan needs time to look at the team. Ange didn't need time to look at the team this summer and say, the backroom staff at Celtic are all there. So this thing that Brendan needs time to look at the team, the backroom staff will come up with a dossier and say, right, this is where, when Brendan came in, and I still want to know, I'd still love to know the timeline from when Callum went over to Spain to speak to him. Was it before they went away with Scotland? Were the talks going on that far? I think they were. But the fact that when Callum had that lunch with Brendan over in Spain before he signed, there was talk of obviously where the club was at. And that would have happened with the backroom staff. It was like, Brendan's walked into the job and he's been really surprised. The way that the club's changed over the last 4 years, and it's for the better, so this, that he needs to see what players he fancies and all the rest of it. I don't buy. I just think it's Celtic have obviously targeted players, and they're either waiting for the right moment to go for them, or they are getting these players in from Asia first just to get them in the door, and then we're going to make the signings that are, you don't know what's going on at Celtic. That's the thing. That's probably the good thing. Either looking for another Seville season. I think we'd all have another Seville season. Get to this one first. I've been told in an interview in the next 2 or 3 weeks that Brendan assesses his cause and happy with it. We have all been told that. Jenny, what is it? Oh, it's a parachute. Leave it. Fucking paraglide. No, stop it. I'm looking for another Seville season. I'd love another. Where is Europa final next season? Where is it? I think we're weaker at this moment in time. Yet we are definitely weaker as a squad. We're probably not, but as a first team, I think we have to get these boys in the door and get them playing. There has to be a Sutton type player. Yes, definitely, it has to be a Sutton type player. Play up with Kyogo. I'd hope Big O is that guy. He's got a bit of beef about him, and he scored. You've got to remember, he scored a cracker of a goal towards the end of the season, where he totally bullied the defenders in the box to get to the goal. And it's something that Kyogo's got the pace to do that type of thing. But it was good to see Big O doing that, and I really can't wait to see him. Right, come on, it's away, it's gone. Dogs and paragliders. Right, we are in good hands with Rodgers. I think it's going to be an exciting season. It all comes down to Rod Fabricant. There's the man himself. Rod Fabricant checking in, good show as usual. Nobody's disputing anything about the fact that the level of manager that Brendan Rodgers is. I think players, people and fans are just getting a little bit tetchy that we've not had these big signings. We said that we had this 30 million to spend on players, a transfer budget, and that we were going to buy in players that were more Champions League ready. Bringing players in from Asia, it's a big step up to go from playing in Asia to play at the top level in the Champions League, as we've seen last season. We drew a blank in the Champions League last year. So you know, as we do really need these players in. We need a new keeper. Sorry, need Keller from Liverpool. That would be class, but it would be a loan move. Did Hibs release him? Yes, Hibs released Aidan McGeady. He was training right up till his contract expired on the 30th of June. Have you changed your view on the new hoop stop? I'll tell you that when I see it at the shop next week, and when I see it in the flesh, I'll tell you what I think of it. So there you go. That's all you need to know, Proud Boys. I've not seen it in person yet, so I haven't seen it on the players. It's a different thing, but when you see it up close, I'll then decide whether I'll buy it or not, and I probably will. So we'll see. If you see me sitting here with the top on, you know I like it. There's one video I'm going to do a live actually, and I'm going to get a rail and hang all my Celtic tops up behind me, and I'm sure you'll be quite impressed. Brendan's words. See that? Brendan's own words. He's watched all of our games since he left. Yep. So Brendan will know exactly what and where we need to improve. He's not coming into it blind. Do you know what I mean? He was going to take a year out, and to be fair, it's not a better place in the world to take a year out as just down the coast for Santa Ponza. I'm sure his missus is probably going, really? Well, we're going to live like the life of Riley. But anyway, he's back at Celtic. Rodgers will make a bad some player. Jota was a massive loss. Moy wasn't as good as people think. He got found out against playing better players in front of him. I think he got a real buzz. I think that's a bit hard on Moy. I think he got a real buzz at playing at the World Cup, and I think it kind of upped his game. And then it's like his wife says, you know what I mean? It's like he's been travelling the world whilst his family's been stuck in Scotland for a lengthy time. And the fact that he kind of, there comes a stage in everyone's career, and it's usually because kids come along. Kids are the ruin of everything in your life until they're 18 and bugger off, and then you start to live life again. It's great. But yeah, no, I think he was missing his kids. He was missing a lot of important dates with his kids, so I think that was the reason that he called time, and the fact that he was always getting a bit injured. The Huns are buying big low lads to try and bully us. I think I've not even looked at who they're buying, to be honest. I've not looked at any of their signings. Why call him Brenda? I never called him Brenda, did I? I never called him Brenda. I would never call Brenda Brendan. Brenda? Who called him Brenda? Who in the comments called him Brenda? Right. Who was it? Get him. It should say Edward. We need an Edward. We do need an Edward type player. Did he knew Andrews offered it? Yeah, he did. And I think when that photograph was released of Brendan Dermot and his son at the front door, and when you analyse the picture now, you can see them sort of standing going, is this guy for real, or is he taking the pure piss at us? This nonsense, let's leave it to the end of the season. Let's just get on with the job in hand. I think DD and that did know, like, if when the camera turned round to DD and Peter Lawwell at the end of the game, and Peter Lawwell, when we've won trebles, has been ecstatic in the stand, the national ground, and the two of their faces were tripping them. You knew then. When we said it in the pub, he's off. Yeah, we knew right then. And then with the press conference after it, the way that he spoke at the press conference, we knew. You just knew then. So anyway, he's off. He's gone. It's in the past. Hail from a very hot Turkey today. 44. Yep, it is hot over in Europe. But do you know what? It's summer. It is summer. It is this temperature every year. Trust me. And I'm looking at the window and it's cloudy. It's cloudy to the south and up to the northwest. It's not so cloudy. But yeah, no, it's cloudy here today. So anyway. We need cover at fullback and centre back, says Peter King. Tell me your thoughts on that. Yeah, we do. We do need cover. But who do we get in? Well, we've just bought a guy that's coming in, and hopefully he'll be the guy that we need. We don't know. And fans expect a club like Brighton. Let's get to Chow Pow text. Europa finals, you're kidding on. Is it? Can we start to dream? Could you imagine that? Could you just imagine that? Let's forgo finishing second in the Champions League to get, or even let's finish second in the Champions League and then drop down to Europa. Just take a minute to think about that. How many Celtic fans would go to Dublin for the Europa Cup final if Celtic were to said Haksabanovic? Said no, it's not said Haksabanovic. Still rather get KT back. Getting the Champions League finals at Wembley. Really? What an anticlimax for a final. Jeez. Sutton could play as well. Agreed. Let's fly through some of the comments. Going to affect that lampshade at the back. Is affecting my OCD? Is it? Fucking see, that's because the missus desk here, right? Yeah. It's fucking. I'm just making it worse. Right, that's because the missus desk there, right? She has all sorts of fans on. Is that straight for you? Is it straight? Right. Who's pressing the doorbell? It's all kicking off now. That's it. My time's up, you see. That's 41 minutes. I said I was coming on for half an hour. Anyway, the lampshade is now straight. If she moves that again, she's away to answer the door. Anyway, right. It's a piss take. Yes, Edward. Let's get through the comments because we're going to wrap it up in 4 minutes' time. That'll be twice in a row. We've got to the 45 minutes. Jeez, these are getting long. So keep an eye on the community tab because who was that? The Chinese. Oh shit! Air conditioning's leaking. The aircon's dripping down onto the Chinese down the stairs. What a shame. Anyway, right. See, that's because the lampshade. See what you started? You start one thing. Anyway, yeah, keep an eye on the community tab. I'm going to be asking people if they want to join us live, and we'll get a few people on that are on the channel to come up and join the live, and I'll be able to send you a link. We'll do that. If you have Twitter or if you have Facebook, I'll jump onto the Facebook page. I do have a Facebook page, but I never use it. I never really use it. Let's get through some of the comments. Let's get up to the newer ones. Right. 29 to hit 200 thumbs up. Could you put a limit channel to... How could you put a time on a limit chatting about Celtic to 45 minutes? You can't really. But there is only 4. It is dropping down a bit now. It's down to about 414 people on the live. So, yeah, I could chat about Celtic all night. If we get more people on, positive vibes. Positive vibes, says Peter. Right, now, I could talk about Celtic all night. And I think it's time that we bring some other people onto the channel and then just have their say. It's great that we have all these comments, but it's only Instagram. Yes, I'm on Instagram. I am on Instagram. I've never really liked putting my personal stuff up on there because when you get to my personal Instagram, you then find out this whole magical world that I live in. That's, do you know what I mean? And it's sometimes you like to private. What is the dog's now fucking jumping about? Anyway, no, I'll put my I'll put my Instagram up. I'll put it up on the community. What is my Instagram name? Yeah, bugger it. I'll put my Instagram up. I've nothing to lose. So there is my Instagram for you all. 3, 2, 1, and that's it. That's all you're getting to see from Instagram. Keep it private. Shit. Nah, I don't bother about my Instagram being private or not. I mean, it is what it is. I don't really post about things. Oh dear. Is your dinner ready, mate? Nah, my dinner's not ready. Aye. 56 titles. You forgot to cook again.
Too hot to cook.
It's too hot to cook. This heat wave. We're not going out. Are we? Anyway, keep the Huns in the shade, says Colin Stewart. Yeah, I think there's too many times in the past that we've had the chance, and especially when it goes back to 2012, we should have had the chance to keep them down and kill them off altogether. the only club in history to be able to go into liquidation and come back. It's another thing altogether. So Celtic, what's that one? Where did that one go to? There's a Celtic bar calling. There's not actually any Celtic. Well, there was one Irish. There was a Celtic. Well, it wasn't really a Celtic, but O'Connor's by the Sea. But the guy that owned that, the Irish guy, sold it and went to Italy, sold it to a guy for Glasgow, and the guy for Glasgow has just sold it to a guy for Belgium. So anyway, get the barbecue out. We might get the barbecue out. We'll see. It's too hot for salad. Have a cerveza. Don't encourage her. That's all I'm saying. I'm sitting here drinking diluting juice. She's probably on the Tinto del Verano. Oh, anyway, right. Let's see. Hoops Bar Guardamar. Hoops Bar is a fantastic bar up in Guardamar. But I'd need to drive up there, so you can't really have a drink. So there's a busy idea for you, mate. Have pieces on toast. Actually, I seen a video about that, right? And it was Americans trying. I don't know where this is going now. The viewers have just completely dropped off. Have a piece on toast, and they were like Americans eating beans on toast. Rabbit food for you, mate. Rabbit food. And we do eat a lot of salads, but you eat a lot of fresh stuff. So, yeah. And we had a lot of fish last night. Yeah, they're asking what I'm having for dinner now. Right. This has just went bizarre. We're over the 45-minute. Right. 45-minute. What? When she start wanting to get on it. Anyway. I know I said that without moving my lips. That was amazing. Did you see that? I don't even go down that road. Anyway, right. We are hard. Everyone's dropped them off. It's no wonder because we kind of stopped talking about Celtic 5 minutes ago. And now you're talking. I'm looking forward to one of them next week. That's all I'm saying. Thank God there's 3 games. Yep, from Wednesday. Thank goodness. Wednesday night, I will be watching the football with my brother. You and boy, will you? That'll be good. Yes. You'll probably know my other. Yes. Yeah. I'll keep that off the other now. That'll be good. Yep. Speak to you before then. Speaking of University on Facebook. It's like watching the Still game. They're now saying that I'm Navid. Oh my God. Jesus. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh man. No, she'll not come on the Celtic channel because there's something else that we do that she's sees enough of herself. Yeah, she has a life. McCarthy was the biggest waste of money in years, says SL17. On a Raga trip. Miserable zombies. Let's wrap it up. So I will do, let's see, did anyone actually manage to get my Instagram? Probably not. Probably a good thing. Maybe did. Get in touch with me and we'll do, when we're going live next, it'll probably be Friday evening that we'll go live again. We'll do the big Celtic news catch up during the week. There'll still be the videos during the week. I'm not sure about how many evening ones will go ahead. I'll probably try and do as many as I can. But with that being said, it's another weekend. It's another weekend Celtic. There are games back on the telly. That's what we're talking about. I'm trying to read the comments too. Cheers. Right, let's cheer. Sean Burst. Hail, 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 hail. Something today. Derry Hibs that. Hail, hail, Baz. Right, it's been fantastic doing these lives again. I shall see you back tomorrow morning. Let's do a quick check just to see if there's any sort of thing breaking. That's Aidan McGeady news. Click that from that. Celtic. Come on, where is it? Celtic. There's nothing there. All it is about the guy from Busan Park who is on his way. So there is 2 players coming in this week. So I think they're going to do a double announcement this week. It is time for a beer. I chill out because it's not that hot. So the wind's picking up. Anyway, great show. Great. It's 11 a.m. for the games in Japan. Is it 11 a.m.? I thought it was at night time, the games in Japan. I'm sure it says on my Celtic calendar that it was probably 11 a.m. there, so it's 8 o'clock at night back home. I'm not so sure. Anyway, it's been great having you all. Everybody's dropped them off. They're dropping like pancakes. They're dropping like a pack of cards off this video. Down to 300. Have a great day, Celtic fans all around the world, and I shall see you in the next one. Call the cops.